Hi guys, and welcome to Horologique. Today I'm going to talk to you about a watch that was made legendary by Hodinkee and that is known as the $75 watch that looks like $1 million. So this one I got about 6 months ago. The bad news is it's not going to cost you $75 anymore, but it will not cost you much more than that. So let me take you back 5 years ago. After the Hodinkee publication, there was an incredible buzz around this watch and it sold out everywhere and very quickly. It was impossible to find, even before it was rumored to be discontinued. However, is it worth the hype? Let's find out right away. So, as usual, let's start with dimensions. This is a little watch at 38 millimeters in diameter, only 10.5 millimeters in height, a log-to-log distance of 45.5 millimeters and log width of 18 millimeters. The bracelet tapers, but I swear to you we'll talk about the bracelet later. And I guess you know where this is going. Let's first talk about why this watch is so special. Just take a look at that dial. Isn't that incredible? You have a circle in the inside where there's no relief. Only at the top of that circle you have got the Seiko and the 5 shield right underneath, and everything is applied, and beautifully so. At 3, you have got the day-date complication, which is framed by a metallic ring, and at the bottom of the dial you have got in print, automatic and 21 joules, and right at the bottom in very small print you've got the movement 7S26 and some other code that I have never understood. Around that inner circle you've got a disc with a tapestry motif where the indices are, and the indices are applied. Around the indices you've got very small luminous dots. With all these facets, this dial exudes refinement, which is strange for a watch at such a small price. But on top of that, you've got very nice Dauphine hands, very well made, long and elegant, and when you look at this watch from the front, you will see what all the fuss was about. It looks beautiful and it plays with light, with all its facets and all its frames very nicely. Talking about facets, let's go to the bezel, and you see that the refinement continues here because you've got a bezel in 3 parts, each part sloping at a different angle. Right underneath you've got a polished rehaut that goes from one side to the other of the watch, and right underneath, on what could be called the sides of the watch, you've got a vertically brushed finish. On top of the lugs, you've got a circular finish. The crown is recessed at 345, and we'll get back to that as well. So check that lume. Nothing to be ashamed of for a dress watch at this price point. Wonderful. And an unexpected surprise. So when you look at the head of this watch, it's a very compelling package. Certainly for $75, it looks indeed like $1 million. However, not everything is wonderful around this watch. I talked to you about the bracelet, let's get back to it. The bracelet is perhaps one of the best hair removers around. It's all cheap, made of folded metal all over, and it does make a lovely noise. Listen to this. And if you do wear this bracelet, you will hear that noise all day long. So the best thing to do is to throw this thing away and put it on a beautiful brown leather strap, black, brown, whatever you want. When you do that, the watch takes a whole new dimension. Another defect of this watch will be that crown. I know it's one of the principles of the Seiko 5, but the crown is totally recessed and it's very small, which makes it difficult to fiddle with it. If you're planning on wearing this watch all the time, then there's no problem by all means. But if you've got a collection, it's gonna be a bit tough doing the shuffle and setting the time. But what beats inside this watch? Well, yes, sadly, it's the antiquated 7S26. I say antiquated because, as you might know, this movement does not have hacking or hand winding, sadly, but it's not all bad, because this movement has been around for over 2 decades, and there are some watches using this movement that are still going after 25 years of heavy use without a service. But is timekeeping good? Let's take a look at that right away. Take a look at that rate. That is amazing. Of course, bit error is a little high, but nothing to worry about. Very, very nice. So let's sum it up. A beautiful watch that deserved all the praise and all the buzz that it got at the time. However, it is not a $75 watch anymore. It's more like a $120, $130 watch, if you add a nice strap with it, of course. And if you do, it still does look like $1 million. It does have its big flaws, one of them that awful bracelet, but that's been taken care of. And the second one is that movement. As you can see, mine performs admirably, but no hacking, no hand winding in 2021, well, that's gonna be a tough pill to swallow, especially given the fact that there's some very nice offerings at around the same price, but none of which are as legendary. So if you want a famous watch for not a lot of money, knowing where you're going, certainly go for this one if you can get it. So that's been the review. Thank you so much for following it, and make sure to stay tuned for more reviews that are coming very soon. Thank you and goodbye.